As the executive order clearly usurps representative government, why is the executive order still in place?
Because we're still challenged with a virus that we need to get on top of, so let's get everybody vaccinated. More people get vaccinated, the more possibilities we are to have loosen up not only the businesses, but also on the executive order, and we're not even halfway there yet.
This is not a monarchy per se. I'm not accusing you of that. A lot of this is based on your predecessor, but ultimately, doesn't the General Assembly have a critical role in determining the actions in response to this now that they are in fact meeting?
Yeah, and I'm meeting with them, with the Speaker, Senate President, and other leadership, not only on the budget, but other related areas. So that process is continuing and the people are being well represented.
There's no formal review process per se if in fact an executive order eliminates the need for legislative approval. And this is going to be critical, for example, when you've got the presence of possibly $1 billion, $2 billion, $10 billion, whatever, from President Biden's relief program.
I've answered that as well. We'll be working with the General Assembly on all those issues.
Doctor, we talk about micromanaging. This is a lot of folks have evidenced a lot of frustration of this. For example, the change from 8 people to 10 people at a table. Now, in a state where, for example, we don't seem to have an agreed upon CTR, cycle time threshold value, in terms of arranging or arriving at our 2% infection rate, at a time when every established clinical trial has denied and disproven the efficacy of using masks. I think there's, what, a dozen trials been out there, randomized trials, thousands of people involved. How do we arrive at these seemingly, how many angels on the needle of a pin measurements do we get, going from 8 to 10 specifically, that has significant impact going forward on business?
We understand the science behind the virus and how the virus spreads. When you have larger groups of people together in close quarters, unmasked, engaging closely, perhaps in less well-ventilated areas, and with a variant that is continuing to spread, the risk for transmission is higher. Every step we can take to mitigate against that, to minimize the risk of that type of invisible or otherwise spread, is valuable to do. And the incremental steps that we have been taking to help release that are to make sure that we do it carefully. As I've shared, we are in a plateau. We are not still continuing to decline. That means the variant is still present, it is spreading, and we need to continue to be cautious in how we're proceeding.
Respectfully, at a point in time when Rhode Islanders were surveyed and there was an acknowledged near 96% use of masks, and I'm just using this as one example, I don't want to assess over masks per se, we had one of our biggest spikes. Despite continuing restrictions, we seem to have the worst of all worlds here.
Masks are effective. We can go to the next question, Brian.
How far along or how much of the current eligibility age group has been vaccinated, the 60 to 64-year-olds, the people with underlying